So, hello everyone. So, today we will be dealing with the next chapter under Union Executive, which is the Vice President. We'll see what his qualifications are, how he's elected, and what are some of the powers he enjoy, etc. So, to begin with, it's Article 63 of the Constitution that talks about the Vice President. So, Article 63 says, there shall be a Vice President of India. That's all what Article 63 says. So, first let's see how he is elected. He is elected almost the same way as the president is. It's an indirect election, not a direct election where people directly participate. But the difference is in the composition of the electoral college. The composition of the electoral college of the president and the vice president are different, and there lies the difference. We saw that in the case of president, electoral college consists of elected members of both the houses of parliament plus the state assemblies plus Delhi and Pondicherry. Here the difference is that in the case of the electoral college of the vice president, it consists of both elected and nominated members of the parliament. And second difference is that it does not include the members of the state legislative assemblies. Be it nominated or elected, members of the state legislative assembly are not part of the electoral college. Whereas elected and nominated members of both the houses of the parliament have a vote in the election of the vice president. And here also the system of voting is proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, just like we had in the case of the president. So the only difference is in the case of the electoral college, the composition of the electoral college. So if there are any disputes that arises in connection with the election to the office of the vice president, then it will be decided by the Supreme Court of India, and their decision will be final. Now, the reason why the members of the state legislative assembly are not part of the electoral college of the vice president is that president is the head of the state and his power extends to the administration by the center as well as to the states. So he has authority over the center as well as the states, whereas in the case of the vice president, his main duty is to function as the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. He is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the vice president. So his main duty is related with the center and the parliament, not so much with the states. So we have decided not to include the members of state legislative assemblies. Now that's about the election. Now coming to qualifications of the vice president candidate. So it's same Article 63 lays down the qualifications for the vice presidential candidate. Number one, he should be a citizen of India. Number two, he should have completed 35 years of age. And then he should be qualified to be a member of the Rajya Sabha, exclusively Rajya Sabha, because he is supposed to be the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So in that respect, he has to be qualified to be a member of the Rajya Sabha. And finally, he should not hold any office of profit, either under the union government or state government or local authority. But anyway, a sitting president, a governor, minister of the state, or a union council, a minister from the Union Council of Ministers, or a sitting vice president, these offices do not come under the category office of profit. And coming to term of office, as you know it right, it's 5 years. So he has a 5-year term. And he can resign anytime he feels by addressing to the president. We saw that when the president resigns, he addresses it to the vice president. And when the vice president resigns, it is addressed to the president. And when it comes to removal, we saw in the case of president, we have the impeachment process. Here also we have a impeachment process, but we do not call it a formal impeachment because the process is slightly different here. See, in the case of the vice president, he is removed by a resolution of the Rajya Sabha passed by a special majority. Here, special majority means majority of all the members of that house, all the members of that Rajya Sabha. And this has to be agreed by the Lok Sabha. And again, here also we have a 14 days notice period given to the vice president. And interestingly, there is no ground prescribed in the constitution as to on what ground can the vice president be removed from the office. Now, coming to the functions of the vice president. Number one, vice president is the ex officio chairman of the Council of States. Council of States is the Rajya Sabha, and the chairman of the Rajya Sabha is the vice president. Now here he is the ex officio chairman. What is ex officio here? See, ex officio here means he is the chairman by virtue of being the vice president. So whoever becomes the vice president will naturally be the chairman of Rajya Sabha. So ex officio means somebody holds office because of being in office or being in a particular position. So who not in his personal capacity. So whoever becomes the vice president will naturally be the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. So vice president's first and foremost and the most important duty is being the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also called the Council of States. And being the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, he presides over the meetings of Rajya Sabha. So, like the speaker in the Lok Sabha. And he keeps the prestige and dignity of the house, and he is the custodian of the rights and privileges of the members of Rajya Sabha. Next is that he is the chief spokesperson of Rajya Sabha before the president. So, he represents Rajya Sabha before the president. And he represents the collective voice of the house of the Rajya Sabha outside. Outside the house, he represents the collective voice of the Rajya Sabha. And number 3, when the office of the president falls vacant, maybe due to death, resignation or removal, so in that case, vice president acts as the president, acting president, until the next president is elected. But again, this will be only for a maximum of 6 months and not beyond that. Because within next 6 months, a new president has to be elected. Next is, whenever the president is unable to discharge his duties, maybe like due to illness or so, the vice president will be in charge. Next is, the vice president pays official visits on behalf of the government of India to other foreign states. So on behalf of the government, he may represent the country in other states, but usually or mostly it's done by the president. But occasionally, yes, the vice president also does represent the country. Next is, he is the ex officio chancellor of some of the universities like the University of Delhi. You know that the most common name that we hear about a university is the vice chancellor. Above that, we have a chancellor. So most cases it is the governor of that particular state, but in the case of vice president, he is the chancellor of some of the universities like the University of Delhi. So this is all about vice president. Vice president does not have a very significant role in the functioning of the administrative affairs of the executive union. The first and the foremost duty of the vice president is as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, whereby he presides over the meetings and he represents the house. So this is all about the vice president. It's a very small portion in the union executive. So it's a very easy chapter also, a small one indeed. So thank you all. See you all in the next class. Bye.